Right, everybody, welcome back to the Legit Crypto Lounge, the place that brings together real projects with real people. For today's AMA, we're joined by Luigi from the token Vivus. In terms of the structure, for the next hour or so, we will meet the team behind the token and find out a little bit about their background and previous experience. And then Luigi's going to take us through a presentation of the project. And then from there, we can delve into the details and have a Q&A at the end. So, Luigi, if you'd like to give us a brief introduction about you and your team and background, and then we can get cracking with the presentation.
Yeah, thank you so much for the invitation and the opportunity to present this project. So I'm Luigi Pollio. I'm a PhD student in economics at the United States. I'm at Boston College. The team is 4 of us, and 2 are PhD students. One is should be in the chat as well. So basically, it's a project shared with among PhD students and people with a master degree in engineering. So basically, this is our first project together. We are trying to bring some kind of innovation in the world of crypto, which I believe is something that it's time to do, since it's assume 1 year that we don't see something new. So we try to think something innovative, and this is essentially about our project. So we all, so the entire mechanism and everything that I'm going to present today has been written by me and Marco. We both have a master in economics and finance, so let's say that we know essentially what we are doing. So in terms of experience, this is essentially what we are bringing to the world of crypto. So not your standard project that you're going to hear over and over again. So something very, very innovative. So this project Vivus, the name Vivus, which is basically question that everyone asks, what does it mean, Vivus? There has to be some meaning behind it. So the word Vivus essentially comes from Latin. It means something alive. We want to create a token that's never going to die. Something that can live forever and doesn't need to be busted from outside, from marketing campaign, from any kind of, doesn't have to rely on anything else. Just something that has some kind of life, okay? So the idea essentially is to, here you see in the title, I wrote crypto, shitcoin, NFT, metaverse, Vivus tokens. Is something very strong maybe that I want to communicate. But the idea essentially is that crypto have been born and people start to work on shitcoins, and so shitcoins were born, NFT after shitcoins, metaverse. And this is what essentially we want to do, something different. We want to stay completely outside of any of these complete projects that have been developed so far. And so Vivus tokens, we believe that can potentially be, if this play out well and people tried these kind of tokens, this is essentially can pave the way to essentially a completely new system of tokens that can be written based on the same algorithm. So let me introduce about this project, what it's about. So it's a token that is completely innovative. So I'm going to speak to you about something that is completely new. And we start from a very simple consideration. Have you ever asked yourself how you make money in crypto? So there are not many different ways actually to get money in crypto. The first way is that whether or not a token or crypto becomes popular, and also your neighborhood jump in the project. So the price of the project will skyrocket because many people are jumping in. Or because there are fake promises about the future of the project. I always mention, for instance, one that a project that for sure you know, which is Cardano. So many news about Cardano that brought the price of Cardano basically to the roof. But I didn't see anything coming yet. Maybe you say, no, they're doing stuff, they're very innovative. But still, there are many promises and promises that try to essentially move the price up. Or the third alternative is one that is very simple. You buy, your friends buy, another your friends buy, and so on and so forth, and then you sell. And so essentially you make capital gain from other people, okay? And when we try to think about that, and it's like, no, this is like, it's true that this is how this market works, but can we find a way to create price capital opportunities without relying on other people entering in the project? Why do I need necessarily a big marketing campaign to move the price up? Why I need your neighborhood to enter in the project to move the price up? Can I do something different? And so the answer is yes, you can do something different, and we are trying to introduce that on the blockchain with the project Vivus token. Okay, why is particular? Well, in this project, I'm going to tell you about this, but essentially, you can make money even if your neighborhood doesn't buy in. So you don't need to have your neighborhood that enter in the project and buy. Also, we are going to have that essentially the price of our token will simply moves randomly. So you can simply sell when the price goes up. I'm going to explain you more about this. And essentially, everything that you're going to do is basically can be done without any additional influence from outside. It's completely inside the project. Okay, how we do that? So what is this Vivus token? Vivus token technically is the first non-utility token that doesn't rely on popularity, crypto influencer, or marketing to generate capital gains opportunity. And we are the first and only token on the blockchain to introduce price randomness in the crypto space to make money. What does it mean? Essentially, we have developed an algorithm that is linked to Vivus token that increase or decrease the price of our token randomly with a fair probability of 50%, once per hour. So it is as if every hour I'm going to toss a coin. If it's head, the price will increase. If it's tail, price drops. And we do this every hour. Because the randomness is fair, the mechanism can be sustained in equilibrium forever. That's essentially the innovation that we're trying to bring. And if you start to think about this, is because it's based on randomness and something that comes from an external force, you can essentially create this kind of mechanism essentially forever. You don't have to wait for marketing. You don't have to wait anything else. Just the fact that price sometimes goes up. It's not because of marketing and not because we paid some Twitter influencer to sponsor the token. It's simply because price goes up, because someone, a wallet that is linked to it, is going to execute a large buy. It's going to move the price up. So this is essentially what this token is about. Something that really doesn't rely on anything else that basically allows you to make money in the crypto space. This is what you are used to so far. This is just to give you an example. This is a simulation of Vivus on the testnet. Okay, I have many. I've chosen one that I think it was the one that scared you the less. So this was a little bit the simulation that we get. This there is no any additional forces. So the one there is just our protocol, our wallet trading. And so thanks to our algorithm, we have you see price variation. You can see on the right hand side actually. This is the evolution of prices. This is the 1 period realized return. And you see that every period from today, from period T and 1 hour later, so T plus 1, we say, there is potentially price variation that goes up to 15%. Here, there was a price variation of 20% and so on. So every hour, there is an opportunity to make a profit that goes way beyond what you are used to. And this happens every hour. So everyone can trade, can make money simply by trading this kind of token. Of course, you have to, your bet has to be right, because sometimes price drop by 25%. But you cannot make money without any form of risk, right? So I believe that any of you or half of you have been betting on Luna recovering, or for sure some of you has done it, right? And so that's why we decided to launch, because we saw so many people putting money on Luna. I was like, okay, the market is crazy. It's really crazy. So let's launch the Vivus. And so this is essentially what we create, and we create completely artificially. And this is essentially the variation that we have on the price. Okay, So this is essentially our token. And it could be enough just to tell you about this, but I want to go a little bit more in deep. So this is essentially the idea. So from now on, I'm going to be a little bit more technical. If you want me to say something more about it, or if you have some question at this point, please, you can ask already.
No, I think I'd like for you to go into the detail of it, because a lot of my question will be around the detail. So if you can go into that, and then we can take it from there.
Totally. So I'm with it. So what is this Vivus Protocol? Vivus Protocol essentially is technically a stochastic trading algorithm. So it's an algorithm of trading, stochastic, that is random, that affects basically the price of our token randomly every hour. So how does it work? So every hour, we're going to draw a random number from a distribution, and we have an independent wallet that reads this number and the market condition is going to execute a trading order. It can be either a buy or a sell of some random magnitude, okay? Because of this trading order, market price will move accordingly. So you can have price up or down, depending whether or not the large wallet has done a buy or sell. So two things affect the behavior of these wallets. The first is the random number, of course, but this is completely exogenous. And second, the market condition. This is where basically the big innovation that allow us to have these algorithms essentially forever in trading without essentially care about everything, just go. And how market condition affect our algorithm? Well, it's going to affect the probability of a buy or a sell. So we have that essentially in case of a strong selling pressure, everyone is selling, our algorithm is more likely to execute a large buy. So there is essentially a buyback mechanism that is just smart, if you want, because it's going to be done based on market condition. And second, however, this is symmetric. So in case of a strong buying pressure, our algorithm is more likely to execute a large sell. So you have that two things will affect the behavior of this algorithm. One, I believe that you like it, which is the buyback. Another one, maybe not, which is the sellback. But don't worry, because if you are at the beginning of the market, except if you see like a times 10, so it's very likely that it's not gonna affect you. So in the pre-sale, it's very likely that you're not gonna be affected at all if you participate in the pre-sale. Of course, if there is a skyrocketing price times 10, I really cannot do anything for it, but I believe that people know that there is this mechanism in place, and so I hope people sell before the large trader, because the large trader with the condition just at time t. So you read the condition, it's like, okay, man, you have exaggerated this moment, I dump the price. Or you guys you're getting too much, let me pump the price. So these two algorithms together allow essentially to stabilize the price. And it is also a good incentive for other investors to essentially either in or get out of investment before the large trader does an operation. This is the technicality, okay? I'm not going in even more in the detail. There is more details if you want about the algorithm, what is based the algorithm on. It's on the white paper. I think for a presentation is, I don't want to get you to leave basically the arm. It's like, man, this is he's talking another language. So I'm not going to go even in deep on that. Okay. So this is the session. Then if you want, just ask question. I will reply to you. So
can we just on the market conditions? So just to be clear, when we're looking at the market conditions, you're not looking at the overall market conditions. You're looking at the token itself in terms of how it's performing specifically.
Absolutely. So it's going to be tied to the total amount of BNB in circulation, which is the deepness of the liquidity pool, and how big the large wallet is relative to the liquidity pool. So the wallet is smart enough to look in that and say, well, guys, I'm too big or too small relative to the market, which is the liquidity pool, and say, well, I'm going to change my behavior. I'm going to execute a large buy or large sell, depending on the condition. If I'm too big, I'm going to just give you money because I'm too big relative to the market. So I'm going to execute a very large buy. Price will increase by 20, 30%, so it's an opportunity. Otherwise, if it's too small, then it's going to just sell and it's going to absorb a BNB from the liquidity pool.
Yep, makes sense.
It makes
Could
sense.
I
In
just
this way, yeah,
Sorry, could I ask a quick question on it as well, Luigi?
absolutely. Right.
How much funds are you starting with in the protocol?
So the protocol is tied to be half of the size of the liquidity pool forever. So
Okay.
basically, we're going to have 110 liquidity BNB inside the liquidity pool, and we're going to have a 55 in the large wallet. It's likely that we're going to have more than 110 because situation is getting a little like with the white list, like tons of people in. So it's likely that we're going to I expect essentially to have a big pump up at the beginning. So I'm gonna use the large wallet not at 55, but a little bit more than 50. So it's more likely to execute a large buy. Okay, so the pre-saler are completely safe from the mechanism. Otherwise, if I start just at half, it can be that price drops. So instead, I want the pre-saler to be completely immune from the mechanism. So just for the pre-saler, I just want them to see. I want them to start from the beginning, essentially. It is as if pre-salers start from here in this simulation, from the minimum price. Price can only go up. Notice, however, that at the beginning, I'm not going to put the algorithm on. So we want to create a little bit of a hype. So for the first 4 or 5 days, so you should expect the algorithm to play at the maximum when we are on the CoinMarketCap. We have the IDO pre-sale fast track as well. Because we need to have a large number of people inside the project before starting getting crazy. So the goal essentially is to create a base of 200 to 300 investors. As we are on CoinMarketCap, I believe that, I'm pretty sure actually, that we can use the full power of the algorithm and so go pretty nuts. So that's essentially my answer to your point.
Cool.
So what we do, why we are doing this? Like, man, like why you are creating an algorithm to do all this stuff? Well, first thing, we want to generate profit opportunities for short-term tradings. If no one trades in the short term, your token is gonna die. That's a basic on every crypto in the last 3 years. Just look at it, and that's the reason why it happened, because there is no active trading, no mechanism for trading. So our mechanisms essentially try to achieve that, and if we achieve that, we have done our job. So we have essentially created a completely new system of trading tokens. Why? Because essentially our profit opportunities are also independent of other investor behavior and just depend just on you trading essentially. Okay. How you generate profit opportunities? Well, it's very simple. You understand that if I move the price up and down randomly, I'm creating an opportunity for everyone that is outside to buy a discount when price drops, or holders to close their position at a premium when price increases. Okay, so that's essentially the price opportunity that we create. And the other thing is that it's so important for world of crypto to attract other investors, volumes and transaction. And our token try to achieve that. We have volatility from outside. We have already created volatility just externally without any additional source. Okay, so volatility, so volumes and transaction are our second target. Okay. So for who is this kind of financial instrument? So here we are trying to create this a little bit hype. So it's actually a financial instrument that is tailored for all type of investors. Of course, our first target of people that trade short term. So if you do like to trade every hour, dreaming Warren Buffett, well, definitely this is for you. Or if you are just trading Luna, well, this is better than Luna. In Luna, you don't have the entry point. Here, at least you have it. Okay, so it's exactly the same thing. It's a gamble. So you can bet on the next hour price variation and potentially beat the system. Okay, and the system in this case is the market. Or you can simply say, well, Luigi, I wake up in the morning and I just trade daily, so I adjust my position every day. Well, you can simply do that because our token, what it does, in 1 or 2 days, is going to create essentially this very large price variation, which simply depends on, like in this case, okay, so you create this period of market bullish and market bearish, and which essentially happen like any other tokens here. Bitcoin takes 1 year to do it twice. We do twice a day. So a little bit better than that, okay? And so we create essentially capital gains opportunity in that way. And we do very, very fast because in the 1 or 2 days, this is essentially what we have. Many people like to forget about their investment. I believe that if we are able to stimulate transaction, many people will be attracted by this mechanism because it's quick money. And so more people buy in, more the value of our token increases. Okay, so also for a long-term investor, this can be an opportunity. Now, we have other things in this project. For instance, another novelty. So basically, everything is around this Vivus Protocol. The reason why we didn't introduce any additional mechanism is because we wanted to focus on this. We don't want to people to focus on other mechanism, and so in that case, we wouldn't know if basically our algorithm was working to generate transaction. In fact, we don't have reflection of the other bullshit mechanism that people have created so far. The only thing that we have is fees. We don't have entry fees because we want to stimulate transaction. I've seen tokens that add 30% of transaction on buy. I think it's pretty criminal. 0% fees, I think is more than fair. And there is just a 6% on sell. Notice that we had to do that because I don't know exactly how this is gonna behave on the liquidity pool and marketing. If there is a lot of buy pressure, there is no problem on the liquidity pool at all. On marketing, it's not a problem neither because the volumes, if we succeed, the volumes will be so high that 3% on half of the volume will be just insane for marketing. So it's likely that actually we are going to reduce these taxes. At the beginning, we're going to start with 6 because we need you to stay a little bit more inside the contract. So that's essentially what we have on the tax side. I just want to mention one thing. This doesn't come with some drawback, this mechanism. It cannot be done in chain. So the mechanism protocol is off chain, is executed from an external server. We're going to use either Azure or AWS for launching the token, essentially the algorithm. But I want to say that this is completely independent of us, and we once we launch it, you can actually monitor the behavior. Okay. So maybe this one, a few words more on this. So we have so the algorithm, it has to be written in off-chain. So you cannot think to write this in chain, okay? Which is one drawback. I totally understand it, and that's the reason why we have done a lot to try to secure and try to make everyone trust us. The part in chain is super simple. You can read about it. It's audit certified by Cyberscope. Instead, regards to the team, is KIC by IDO Presale, which is a guarantee, I believe, of our commitment. We have a very nice relationship with them. So I pretty much believe that any project come out under them should be incredibly safe. They are very serious on what they do, and we really appreciate the job that they do. So it's essentially commitment that there is no way to manipulate this. IDO Presale will have basically access to a way to check that basically we're not doing anything strange. You can check actually as well. We're gonna give information how to check. So I just want to say a few things, and then I'm gonna close for question, and I believe there will be many. So we have a pre-sale, and then we're gonna launch on Saturday. Pre-sale start on Thursday on the Jackpot. We are working to get platinum or a diamond tier with them. I don't know why they didn't want to give us. I think they're a little bit scared of this innovative project. They say that they're monitoring. Tomorrow we have an hour with them. And so basically we are doing our best to protect the pre-sale investors. There is no airdrops, no free tokens for marketing service, anything. We didn't give not even one coin. We are gonna buy token as well. Imagine which level of security we want to give to the pre-saler. We also bought no fake Telegram or Twitter members. This is something that I strongly wanted to do. All the projects start with a base of 1,000 fake member on Telegram. We're starting from 0. So now we have 630, something like that, or people interested in the project. We had like days with 250. Half of the group was online in the period where we announced basically to postpone the pre-sales for a pool and so on. So we have a very nice. We want to create essentially like you are guys, essentially a group of people that like to trade and want to have like conversation and about everything, not only about Vivus. Right now we're focusing on Vivus, but we really appreciate also any other kind of comments and talk about everything. We also have test token vesting process for us and for the development of the project. We are at the beginning. We're not gonna take anything, not even the token for the marketing that would be used for the token for marketing from the pre-sale that would be used all for marketing, and you can verify that. The BNB liquidity pool instead is locked and at launch with Jackpot. Sorry, okay, I had to modify that. And the whitelisting, I just want to mention this. If this is a train, it will be a train forever for all potential pre-salers and whitelist people. So we're going to take basically people that participate in the pre-sale, and that's going to be inside the whitelist and all our future incoming projects. We have 7. Our vision is very simple. We don't want to do the stuff that have been done so far. From our team, everything that we're going to introduce is innovation. We want to do innovative stuff. We don't want to do stuff that other people do, because either we create an innovation or we don't do anything. So basically what we have is a new system that can be expanded further. We are going to have in the future month, if this token goes well, a family of 7 unique tokens based on our protocol, and we're gonna go really crazy with them. There is 3 that are very simple, and they are a simple extension of this token, and then there are 4 which we're gonna call exotic tokens of the Vivus family. They are all strange names, very particular way to create dynamics, and all based on randomness. Okay, we will tell you more in the future about them. They takes a little bit more time to be developed because they are pretty unique, but they're all part of the Vivus family. So for the 7 that are upcoming, you're sure that if you participate in the whitelist, you're gonna get a quote of it, and it's gonna be just basically inside the group. You can check the website for updates because we have just started. Another thing is, maybe someone is thinking, like, every order that you do right now on the blockchain, at least on BSC, has to be done through PancakeSwap, which is at market DEX. So any order that you do, it is at market. You cannot actually put something on an order book. However, for this kind of token, it would be incredibly amazing to have a blockchain that works with the limit order book. And we're going to do something in that direction as well. This will allow us essentially to develop even further this new family of projects, creating essentially a system that can essentially give us the completely monopoly on this kind of tokens, at least for a while. And so here I say goodbye to PancakeSwap. Of course, we can do 10 times better than them. It's not difficult to do better than them. I don't know if you ever use it, but it's not something that I really enjoy. There are other platforms on other blockchain that I believe are insane, really amazing. For people that like metaverse, you can think about this project a little bit like a casino, right? Because it's literally a casino, a gambling, but intermediated by the market, something that you've never seen. So you can think something in that direction in the metaverse, sort of new casino in the metaverse based on the same logic, intermediated by the market. This is something that is very long in the future, so don't expect tomorrow for sure, okay? So we have to do more. That's essentially our vision, and this is essentially all for this project. So I look forward to any of your questions, guys.
Nice. Thanks a lot for taking us through that, Luigi. There's a lot of information there, and obviously you've got big plans, a unique approach to what you're doing. It's definitely going to create some volatility for sure. You mentioned about gambling, and I think there's definitely an element of that within what you're creating, isn't there? To be honest.
Yeah. Oh, totally. There are other people trading with you. So it's a little bit like the blackjack.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It is. That's
It's
just
the
what I was
blackjack,
thinking.
and you can do also, in the blackjack, you can kind of forecast the future. You kind of do the same thing here, and this is important. There is a little bit of predictability, but the predictability is not in 1 hour, but the predictability is in a longer horizon. And this is actually very subtle, because if you have a little bit of a window of predictability in 2 days, you are subject to what is going to happen in 2 days. So are you going to take the gamble to stay in the market for that period of time, or you're going to say, no, I have to go out when I have to go out? Plus, I didn't mention the timing of arrival of the trades is random as well. So you cannot just sit and wait 1 hour, so from 12 to 1, but from 12 to 1, you know that sometimes it's going to happen. There's going to be this variation. So you have to actively trade, and you have to think. It's like, oh, fuck, when it's going to come? And then it's going to get you nuts. Then, yeah, that's a good point.
No. I do like the concept. It's something that me and Toby have spoken about actually within reflection tokens, and I know you said they're a bit gimmicky and stuff. And obviously, reflection tokens are purely volume driven, which is why we thought that would be a good situation through that massive volatility and that buy and sell
Absolutely.
pressure constant.
Yeah.
It helps that, doesn't it?
So you are spoiling our next project, which is Angry Vivus.
Okay.
So we have one coming with that, but pay attention, because reflection in the way that has been done is wrong. You cannot have a fixed amount paid to every investors. It has to be done in a different way.
Yeah.
Reflection,
okay, cool.
in the way that you have seen, it cannot work with this technique. It's gonna blow up, because you have one case, the part that is completely volatile and is completely exogenous, stochastic. The other part, instead, you have a secure return. So you have to find a way to balance the two. You cannot just give everyone the reflection. So you need to do something else. So I'm going to show you in the next project. I mean, you don't have to wait a lot. This is going to blow. If it blow up, if people like it, they're going to love it in no time. So by July, you're going to see the next one.
Awesome.
So on that note, Luigi, are they going to tie into this one? Are you creating different tokens, or are they going to all feed into the same ecosystem?
So they're gonna be two different tokens with different kind of elements. So this is pure volatility, and this is gonna be the one that is kind of more volatile, okay, because it's pure noise. The other one is gonna be slightly more stable, but it's gonna have different elements to essentially balance out all the elements. But that's about the other project. We have like a set, we want to create a set of financial assets. This is an asset that is pure volatility, okay? So if you like the massive amount of volatility that is behind this token, you're gonna trade this one. Instead, if you have a different profile, you're gonna trade the other one that has others on. And we're gonna have just 3 of them. We're not gonna do a lot on this variation. Then we have the exotic. The exotic are crazy stuff that are completely out of mind. Okay, if the SEC CSC doesn't block us, we're going to release it.
Yeah.
But they are completely fucked up. They are not related to that. There is massive price variation, 1,000%, but comes with the different stuff. Like, forget about that. That the first one you will see in September. So. We're going to launch first 2 of the normal, and then the third one is going to be exotic. But this is in the short term. So you're going to see 4 by the end. If this one goes well, I have to understand if I'm able to simulate transaction. If no one is going to trade, there's no way for us to create even worse than this. Okay, so this is essentially the only thing that we don't know. I mean, you're an investor. Like, would you trade something that at this level? Like, you trade the Luna Terra. Are you going to trade something similar in the same direction? We're going to see. It's the market that will decide.
So certainly interesting. Do you worry about when you launch project 2 that there might be a sell-off in this project, or does that not concern you, knowing that they're so different?
No,
obviously it's hard to tell at the minute because we don't know much about the other projects, but obviously I'm just trying to gauge your opinion on what you think will happen when you launch project 2, project 3.
Yes. So the first, so we are working on to have. So we have already the white list with the 200 people filling. Okay, at a certain point we have to stop. And I'm trying to get, if you see the pre-sale link. So basically, we want to have a small. We are going to have a small pre-sale, and then we want to have a lot of buying pressure, because in this way we're going to go on CoinMarketCap much faster. So we're going to play essentially on the other way around. So instead of going big and then die, we're going to start small and then grow. And so essentially, this is the technique that we're going to use to launch, because it's better for us. And also for the investor. For the pre-sale, are essentially guaranteed that price won't drop. Consider that most of the tokens that die, or like, you have seen basically, just go on CoinMarketCap, you see there is a sleep to earn, and like there are so many launching, like so massive market cap. Why you trade something like that? Like, why you start that big? There's no way for you to get even bigger, because when the liquidity pool is very deep, you need a massive amount of investors to enter in to make you do times 2, times 3, times 4. That's the reason why all these tokens die, because when they become too big, they just cannot go over it, because my level of risk. So I know that the price cannot go up by too much, because it's just already 20 million on market cap. How do we do with that? Like, it's better if I profit and see you soon. And this is essentially what happened. In regards to the beginning of after the pre-sale, we want to try to have a lot of buying pressure. And the other thing is that any other token, guys, they do airdrops and free token given for free to everyone, which is completely wrong. If you give airdrops, you should stay so far from people, from projects that give airdrop. If you're giving an airdrop, you are giving money of the pre-saler to everyone. We do not have one token given for free, not even one. If someone asks, I prefer to give them $1 rather than tokens, because if I give you token, I'm giving your money. This is wrong. In this project, of course, there are so many people, also my friend in the pre-sale. So I told them, like, I'm not going to give your money to other people. Don't worry. Stay. Don't worry. Just relax on that. So my sense is that it's gonna pump up. It can go just up. I don't see how it can go down, honestly.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like, we've seen a couple of projects that have failed really recently that did adopt that tactic of airdrops and just giving away tokens and encouraging private and pre-sales to people that were guaranteed to dump. It's just
100% sure dump price. I give you money. I give you free token. Obviously, I give you free money. Why you should stay inside the project? There's no way for it.
No, yeah, it's madness. So going back to your token, Vivus, your original token that you're launching now and stuff, and focusing back on that. In terms of the wallet that's going to do these buys and sells, you said it's going to start with roughly 55 BNB worth in the wallet.
55, 60 maybe. Yeah.
And does the algorithm randomly pick how big the buys and sells are going to be as well, or are they fixed?
No, you cannot do that fix. No, if you try to do fix, you're gonna have a bad surprise. Price will only go down. So let's say that so you're better off not. You have to pick also the sides. So it does everything.
Okay.
And just a question on that point: how does the wallet grow with the market cap? Is it making profit to grow that wallet so that it can create bigger buys and bigger sells?
Yeah. So this part here. So basically, these two mechanisms operate in two directions. On the side of the market, essentially what's happening is that tend to stabilize the market, of course, because you're gonna trade more. On the side instead of the wallet, because of this algorithm is tied to some moments from the market. We are always on average able to reach that target. So as long once it's active, and it's going to be active from day one. Once it is active, we just follow the market with high probability, with probability 1. So essentially, if we reach $1 million market cap, the large wallet is going to adjust so that it's going to go at that level to the target essentially, so which is half of the amount of BNB in the liquidity pool for this token.
So that's effectively it's built into the algorithm, right? To grow with
yes. It does everything. Yeah. So the algorithm does everything, correct, and execute trades. It does everything.
And you've created this algorithm, Luigi?
Yeah, we use every day in our models, and so this part we had so much discussion with Marco. And because we are like, no, Marco, we're going to do something like that. This is going to be insane. And Marco was like, yeah, but do we have an alternative? I was like, no. I was like, yeah, let's do it. I was like, man, they're going to hate us. At the beginning, they're going to hate us for sure. Like, imagine if there's tons of buying pressure at the beginning. They're going to execute a large sell. Fuck. Like people with God expert. As I already imagined the situation, but the reality is that I don't have an alternative. So we're going to suffer a little bit at the beginning, but after that, we have done.
So, like you mentioned before, that you're not going to turn it on within the first 4 or 5 days of launch. Is that right?
Yeah. So we're going to stop this. So the trades, but we're going to keep this part in.
Yeah, sure. And then the trades are going to start on day 4 or 5. You're going to switch it on, and then it's going to work its magic from then on.
Exactly. So we want to create hype on that. We're going to have a very nice post and around with, try to create hype and to do some marketing with that. And then suddenly we're going to just start in. We monitor a set of elements that they're going to guide us essentially on the right choice, when to activate, but that it's random, so it's random. We choose. That's not random. So we are gonna choose it for sure. When we are on CoinMarketCap, it's I don't know if it's a full power, but 50% on, yes.
So when you say 50% on, like you can manually adjust your parameters.
Absolutely, you are completely right. We have a simulation. We have a set of M5 that essentially allow us to work and set all the parameters based on what we want to reach. This is done at full power, and it creates periods of bearish and bullish market, one a day on average. Yeah. And on these, you have to add the endogenous trading behavior of the people.
Okay, nice.
Half of this is like you want to have, we have to, So it's risky to, let me say the drawback. The drawback is that we need to have a pretty stable liquidity pool to do that. That is also, I think you have understood that we need to activate essentially when the project grow up a little bit. So we need to have a little bit of the beginning to hype up the project. And then we can start activating it.
Yeah. Because, so are you intentionally going to have an LP ratio that's really far apart, or so that you can create this extra volatility?
So if I set again the question, the target is, so we look in the liquidity pool essentially, and we're gonna look inside how many BNB there is, so the deepness of the liquidity pool. And so the algorithm is gonna adjust based on that. So we're gonna trade. Essentially, another way to think about this is this token, what it generates liquidity pool that is random. So change the deepness. By changing the deepness of the liquidity pool, you're gonna able to generate this price variation.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And so when you turn the dials up to full, what can we expect the price impact to be per buy and sell?
So above 6% every hour. The average is above 6%. That's essentially why we are thinking to reduce a little bit of tax. So the average, it has to be, I need to give you the incentive to trade every hour. So the price variation, it has to be, you see that here it's a little bit above the 6%.
Yeah.
So given that there is a buy, on average, you're going to see more than 50% of the time is above 6. So you always have incentive to trade in 1 hour. So this is like very sensitive, because otherwise you cannot create this incentive to trade hourly base.
Yes. Okay.
Just a quick question. I know you've been testing in testnet. Have you done any mainnet testing, like obviously stealth?
No, we did. We contacted the guys of PancakeSwap, and they say like, well, did you test on the testnet? Yes, and it's like, no, it's 1-to-1 the same. So I don't see why it should happen some problem there. Do you know about it? Like, what's your concern with that? That's something that might.
Yeah, just like what you just said there. Basically, we've seen some tokens do plenty of testnet testing, and then when they go to mainnet and they've had real life buys going in and out and stuff, is actually cause complications with the contract. So it was just a query. I was just wondering whether you'd done anything on mainnet or not, or it was just all on testnet.
No, we have done only on testnet. Unfortunately, so to run these on the mainnet is pretty tough.
Yeah, because obviously, because nobody will understand what's going on, so it's hard to simulate a real life activity.
Yeah, so your mainnet means that you have the liquidity pool on Pancake. So that definitely is something that. So we contacted the guys of Pancake. So I had exactly, so at a certain point, it was like 1 month and a half ago, I had exactly the same question. I was like, are you sure that this is gonna work exactly the same way on the mainnet? So I activated myself and I contacted the guys at Pancake. It's like, guys, we are working on the testnet. Do you give like the guarantee that this is exactly the same? It's like, guys, if you're testing on the testnet, this is exactly the same mapping of the mainnet. I was like, okay, if you say so. Like, I'm not
Are you having your contract audited?
Oh yeah.
Who's doing your audit?
Cyberscope. It's literally just buy and sell.
Okay.
I was talking. Because everything.
What are you doing about locking the liquidity? Are you gonna? Yeah.
The liquidity is already locked, I guess. On correct me if I'm wrong. I put on Jackpot there was an option lock liquidity pool. I guess they locked already. They will lock.
I don't know. Do you know how long it was for?
It's gonna be locked for 500 days. Yeah.
Okay.
I had to put, by contract with IDO Presale, we have to lock for at least 1 year. By contract, okay. They cannot let you do less.
Again, I was just gauging here because if you had any contract complications, whether you'd be able to pull the LP and do a new contract. I was just trying to work out what.
Yeah, totally. There. Look, if you want to give to the like, I do not have enough. Like my friend is an informatic engineer. He's incredibly smart, and the Cyberscope have seen basically this token like the contract 10 times at this point. They're gonna hate us at the end. But they say that there is no problem. That's essentially the final audit, and you can check that it's online. So I don't see the problem with that.
Awesome. Sorry, Mark. You carry on, mate.
No, but this is a legit question. Very, very, very good observation. The question that I ask myself so many times, because I would be super scared if something do not work out.
I mean, sometimes we see it quite often, and it's a legit team, and real people with good intentions, and things just go wrong, and it's hard to witness sometimes.
Yeah. No, totally agree.
It's been in your thoughts, so that's good to know.
Yeah, no, it's I don't like we tested on testnet, and like I sit down on the chair and doing the transaction as well on the testnet. So it's working 100%. I don't see why it should not work on the mainnet. Like I've seen people, like I don't know, maybe they were scam, but maybe maybe 100% sure. So I've been like in contract where I remember on PancakeSwap I couldn't make transaction if I didn't change like the last digit of the amount that I was trying to transact. But I believe that there was something wrong with them, or like stuff like that. So I never understood what was that about. But yeah, good point.
The contract itself, is that created by one of your team members, did you say, or is this somebody?
The contract is basically, if you go on open whatever, you open where, and so it's the standard BEP20 contract. All of it, like there's nothing more other than that.
So it's a fork as opposed to being created just for you.
Yeah, because the algorithm is off chain. So the algorithm is off chain, so there is nothing in chain. So you see, essentially, our contract is literally the contract full is like 80 lines of code, which is super simple to understand. Is buy, sell, tax, give token to the large wallet. That's it.
Okay, nice. And like you said,
with that said, there probably won't be many complications with it. So it's just a case of the off-chain algorithm working as you expect.
Oh no, that part is we are gonna test from day one. That's for sure. But on the testnet works perfectly. I don't see why it should not work on the mainnet.
Yeah, and with you being able to manually adjust things post-launch and stuff.
If there is a complication, we can always adjust.
Yeah, cool. I've just got a couple of quick questions. You mentioned obviously about not wanting to put in expensive marketing campaigns, as these types of things obviously only work temporarily, which I totally agree with, especially when there's no utility supporting the chart. But obviously, equally, no marketing, and a volatile chart, you could argue could have a cannibalizing effect with the holders that you've got just trying to take money from each other. So there has to be an element of creating new holders and getting new, fresh faces in there. So what are your marketing plans?
So we have a set of events. Marco, my teammate, is not like full agree on that. So at the beginning we're gonna start normal, okay? Then we're gonna do the so-called weekend of madness. I wanted to call in this way, where basically we change a little bit, we tweak a little bit the parameters to get a little bit more people crazy in and see on the coin market cap, like, from one day to another, lose 50% or increase by 400 and you don't know how. So this period of thing, like crazy amount of volatility, that I think that would be super fun to have. And if people enjoy this kind of contract, like I would really enjoy to trade as well. Honestly, and so I expect many people to have like a kind of marketing impact as well. But consider that the strongest marketing move for our token is going to be essentially just people speaking about that and the fact that it's completely new and stuff. It's a completely full innovation. And so it will be on the spotlight for sure once we are on CoinMarketCap. That's
Nice.
At least what I hope.
Yeah. So, well, it'll certainly be interesting watching the chart just go absolutely mental, non-stop. And I guess that word of mouth is the most important part of any marketing anyway, to get, like you're saying, get your friends to invite their friends and to start buying into it and stuff. So it's way more important than any standard marketing that you can do.
Yeah. It will be just the curiosity to look into it. Like, there are many new tokens listed on CoinMarketCap every day. And you see all the same graph, pump up, die, which is normal because that's the life of any token without utility. We know that the price will go to zero at a certain point. In our token, instead, we try to not do that because essentially the life is completely exogenous and is given by the algorithm. At the end, what the algorithm is doing, if no one transacts and basically no one does anything, like suppose there's one guy doing it, one guy trading it, and is going to essentially, the algorithm repeat it over and over again. It's going to essentially giving you all the money of the liquidity pool. So you can, if there is 1,000 BNB and you are alone and you win forever, the amount of the liquidity pool essentially entering your wallet.
Right. I'll wait for that moment.
By construction.
Okay. Did you have anything to add, Toby?
No, I don't think so. It's exciting to see something fresh come through, though. Like, I'm excited to see how it looks. I don't know if you want to touch on your pre-sale a little bit, Luigi, and just tell everyone where you're having it, how much you're raising, minimum contributions and stuff.
Yeah, so minimum contribution is 0.25 and maximum is 1.25 to start. So I tell you, the goal essentially is to fill in the pre-sale in no time. That's essentially our goal. And the small cap is 100 and the hard cap is 200 BNB. Okay, so with the, I believe that is not like a 1 BNB is not a big contributor. It's something that everyone can try to achieve. So if everyone, so in this way we have a little bit like a very a liquidity pool that is dispersed among investors. We couldn't do less than that, I believe, like less than 125 as maximum contribution, just because we want to have some demand pressure also after if I was doing the. So that's regard the pre-sale is going to be open on Thursday, and Thursday at 20 UTC, and we're going to launch on Saturday. And before that, we're going to have a big AMA to push even further the demand, the buying pressure after the pre-sale. I guess that's it for regards. So the whitelist we have raised already. We have already 200 people. For you, the whitelist spot are all reserved. So we're going to close at 250, I don't know, 300 at most. We are deciding, I don't know how much buying pressure we want. And there's a trade-off, right? If I put too many people on the whitelist, it's going to be just a mess. And kind of maybe I don't want that as well.
Yeah, like we've seen it as well, where you list too many whitelists and then people get disappointed that they can't buy into the project, and then they just get turned off straight away and they don't look at it again.
Yeah, so but on the other hand, I don't want like a project that there is no buy pressure on the pre-sale as well, because then it's not a bullish anymore. So I really don't. I would like to have a perfect match. And honestly, I didn't find it. There is no rule of thumb that tells me, well, look, if we're all going to put 0.25, so you need this amount of money. I assume that everyone is going to put 1 BNB on average. That's essentially my bet. Because this is the what we see in other pre-sale. So if that turns out true, then 250 280 is a good whitelist. Consider that you have also, if I don't want to know what can happen if Jackpot give us the platinum or diamond, because at that point the whitelist is not alone anymore, but there is also people with the tire diamond or from Jackpot as well participating in it. So at that point it's a mess also for white people that are in whitelist. But the nice thing is that this is our first day of marketing, and I have to say, like, fortunately, because last week we stopped just before starting the serious marketing, and we raised before, without any big marketing operation, 120, 130 people just in whitelist. Okay, so it's we are growing faster and faster, and tomorrow we have a rise of the very big calls that we're gonna do, and we're gonna have AMA with Jackpot. You can come and ask a question if you want, or just enjoy how I'm gonna turn them crazy. And then we have the last AMA with on Wednesday with the future launch as well. And after that, we have to choose a big AMA for Friday. That's our marketing plan, or how we're gonna proceed with this.
Nice.
Yeah, I think, yeah. If you have other question on the pre-sale, sorry, like I'm too talkative.
On the pre-sale, if you raise the hard cap, what's the fund split going to be?
The funds. So I'm gonna have 50. To say the percentage, how is allocated?
Yes.
So 56% goes to the liquidity pool, and 44 is gonna come to us. So say that 56% of 200 is around 110 BNB in the liquidity pool. Then we're gonna have 44% that we need to allocate to our large wallet, so we cannot use it, unfortunately, for marketing. And so it will be like 60 BNB, and the rest is essentially used for marketing, for the project and to launch until CoinMarketCap. And after that, we have to take a break because we need to collect some funds also from to see essentially how things go.
Yep. So how much funds will you have towards marketing post launch?
For post launch, we're gonna have, how much is gonna be? It's gonna be around 30 BNB, more or less, I believe.
Yep.
Which is gonna be allocated essentially for marketing.
Okay, and then on the distribution, token distribution overall, I noticed that you've got 16% towards for the team. Is that right?
Development and the team, yes. So it's a little bit 1.5% each of us, and the rest is common and is going to be used for development.
Okay, and I understand that's locked for 4 months. Is that right?
That is month up to 4 months. Yes. So it's 1% every week.
Okay.
For 10 weeks. Which is
right.
4 months. Yeah.
And
yeah, so it's 1%. Yeah, 1%, which is released every
1% a week for 16 weeks.
No, it's no 1%. 10. No, sorry, it's 10. It's 10% released every 7 days. So it's 10 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. And then have you got any other wallets that are locked?
Lost you then, Mark.
Oh yeah, he was asking a question. Yeah, no, I lost you.
The other wallets, have you got locks on those?
The other wallets, what do you mean?
Because I was having a look at your white paper before. I'm just
there is a 5% unlocked. Yeah, that will go to the marketing wallet. We are not gonna use it. They suggest us to put some token in the marketing wallet, just to eventually. But I really do not think we're gonna use it at all. We're gonna use the part above the 5%, and we're gonna sell every 1-2 days to have like the funds in BNB to do marketing. But apart from that, I don't think we're ever gonna sell that.
Okay, and you've got this IDO 39%, looking at the token allocation as well.
What do you mean? Say it again, the question. I think I didn't get it.
Looking at your token allocation on the white paper, you've got IDO 39%. Is that right?
Token allocation was you should. So first of all, you should look at the jackpot token allocation, because it's slightly different from this, because it's meant for that one is for, it was for a bigger liquidity pool. The problem of the bigger liquidity pool is that it was on the X sale before, then Luna crashed, and so you're like, wait, what's going on? So it's like, people are not gonna buy, let's start small at least and try to go from there. And so that's how we started. Okay. So you should look at that one. It's not that different from what you that a lot different from what you see in the but I should adjust that in the white paper. Thank you to remind me that.
No worries. Yeah, we'll have a look at that. I'm conscious that I want to give people the opportunity to ask questions as well. So I'll just ask one last question that we always like to ask at the Legit Crypto Lounge. So for us, the long-term success of a project can't exist without a clear vision from you guys, the owners of the project. So my final question to you is, at what point does this project become a success to you?
So for me, I don't know my teammates, but for me, if these reach $30-40 million market cap, is still not a success. So my target is 100 million, at least, to say that this is a big success. Okay, but there is no in this token, you see there is nothing. You see that there is just this mechanism, right? So it means that essentially either this project is no one is gonna buy, or everyone is gonna jump on it. There is no middle. So either this is by July we're gonna meet each other in the French Polynesia, or we're gonna come back in your lounge and say, guys, how much we bet on the sale? I was like, man, I put 300. We lost 9,000. So it's one of the two. So it's literally one of the two. Innovation are like that. Either they completely wipe up everything, which I believe that everyone wants to. Everyone is looking for something innovative, no? So I just a little bit of expectation. Just crypto are like that. This is gonna jump. Just the price will rise because it's something innovative, and people are like, hold on, this is another train. This is a new train. Let me jump before I lose this train. There's gonna be something like that, right? For sure. That's for sure.
Mark loves when people put a number on that.
I don't know. Maybe someone is gonna read. We are gonna have a special message on CoinMarketCap as well. I'm gonna ask to Michael of IDO Presale to please let them write, which is basically to say that, look, the price of this token moves randomly, or something in that line, and please pay attention. One is because I want to warn people, look, this is not any other asset. And second, because I want a little bit of free marketing when they click on it.
Yeah, nice. Well, people are always looking for something new and novel, aren't they, to invest the money in stuff? I mean, especially at the minute when the market is so down and everybody's on a downer and stuff, people need a little pick-me-up. And
look, this project doesn't know about bearish and bullish. Like, just care about how big is the liquidity pool, how many people there are in and outside. Just go with it. If the liquidity pool is big enough, say 300 BNB in the liquidity pool, I can get nuts with it. Like I can stay like crazy with it. So if I have a very tight liquidity pool, is a problem.
Yeah, sure.
I have to say that. You have to know. It's important for investors to know.
Yeah, because if you don't have the funds, you can't like effectively manipulate the chart enough to create that volatility, can you?
Not really. It's basically more about how the token. Did you understand? So I ask you a question. Who is going to pay? So suppose that the market is going to execute a large buy. Means that price goes up, right? So it means that I'm giving you to the market or to someone that is going to sell some money, for sure, because I boost basically the price. Who is going to pay for it? I mean, money do not come from the sky, right? I'm not generating money. And so the people that are gonna pay for it is essentially anyone else that is not selling. So the market. So the people that are staying in the liquidity pool. So people that do not sell. Those are gonna pay. Why? Because in the next period, so it's like the large wallet comes to you and gives $100 to someone. And then the next period comes and like, guys, I give you $100, give me back the $100. So you're gonna be like, man, but we have James that left with $100. It's like, okay, so because James left with $100, you that are in the market, you're gonna give me back the $100. How? I'm gonna reduce the price by more than before. So basically, you have a symmetric price impact to pay for the bet. This is something that if it doesn't make sense to you, that's fine. It took me 5 months to understand. So to fully. So
yeah, it does make sense, and I guess it goes back to my point about the cannibalizing effect of the same people trying to make money off each other, and
you say that. Yes, that's correctly right.
But yeah, I'm sure that the hyperloan and that volatility and the fact that people are going to be intrigued and want to try and find that nice little entry point that allows them to get in at the bottom, because that's what people like to do, isn't it? Like try and time their entry and hope that they're getting in near at the bottom so they can then, sell at the top.
If you want to know the success, whether or not this token is a success, just launch a pool in your group. Say the one that I launched in my group. I was like, guys, what do you think about this high risk period? And two answers. The first answer is we are actually enjoying this period of high volatility. And the second one, no, we prefer to stay safer. And the result of my pool was that 45% say, no, we are really enjoying this period of volatility. And I continue also, I added crypto a little bit decentralized slot machine in Las Vegas. So that was the answer that I got from the pool.
I think the answer of that poll depends on which end you're receiving. Do you know what I mean? If you bought Luna before it crashed, like you're not
that's for sure. That's for sure.
If you bought the bottom, you're loving life. Yeah. But yeah.
No, that's totally right. That's totally right. This token is for risk lover people. That's for sure. With probability 1. But I don't remember a casino that in Las Vegas closed in the period of pandemic. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I wouldn't know, actually. I wouldn't know, but yeah, one thing for sure is listen, even no matter what people say, we've got a Deegan side group, and people always go in there and they can't resist having a Deegan play. So people love volatility. It's not for everyone, but some people like it, like you say, and some people don't. So it'll be interesting to see what you do next as well with Project 2.
Yeah. That is going to be something in this line, a little bit for... it's slightly different. So that one is going to be a little bit more in the middle. Trying to balance out a little bit more what is actually here. We have to come up with something innovative. We have already written actually half of it. Then we stopped because we said, let's focus on just this one. But the problem there is try to balance out all the dynamics that are inside. So that's not easy. That's not easy. It's not the way that the people have done so far. We know that cannot work. Like also the stacking, it's not done in the right way. So the stacking is, you know that it's a Ponzi scheme, I assume. So
yeah, so just the highest holders can dump on the token holders. This is what happens effectively, especially when the APY is so high.
Because essentially I'm giving you money, and so it's basically the Ponzi scheme was working exactly the same way. So Ponzi was an Italian guy, the guy that invented the first Ponzi, and it's exactly the same way. So you have an APY that is very, very high, and so because of the very high APY, people jump in. At a certain point, no one is going to enter, so you reach your plateau. You collect basically all BNB that you could. At a certain point, the APY that you can give cannot be exactly the same. So everyone is running out because you cannot promise the APY that you promise, essentially. And because everything is intermediated by the market, price will drop so much that your token will die in minutes. That's how Ponzi scheme work.
Yep, absolutely. Right. I think it's probably a good opportunity now to open up to Q&A. So I'll end the recording there in a second. Is there any final words that you'd like to say, Luigi, before I close off the recording?
Yeah. So no, I think I said everything. I think it's something innovative, something very risky, of course. If you want to join, we are we are really love to have you on board. And if you don't, because likely it's not your kind of token, I totally understand. And I think I think for us it's okay.
Yeah, I guess it's high risk, high reward, isn't it? So it's just
I mean, it's So the other token are pretty safe here. The other token goes to zero for sure. This one at least doesn't go to zero, or doesn't go to zero with some probability. So I guess maybe this one is safer than the others, because the other one is going to go to zero for sure. You don't know when, but it's going to happen. This one, at least, the mechanism that we created, at least gives you the possibility to get some money. So I still believe that my token, even if it's a high volatility, is safer than the other. But yeah.
Okay, nice. Well, I'm looking forward to launch and seeing how it goes, and looking at this chart. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure, that's for sure. I'm also hyped for
it. Well, thanks a lot, Luigi. Really appreciate you coming and taking us through your project, Vivus.
Yes. Well, very nice conversation.